We good? Why do we, Torin, what's the deal with our stream, just so I know, so the people at home know?
The internet connectivity at our offices currently. An opportunity to be approved June 24th.
This is why we need broadband, right? Yes, we need broadband. So anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. I don't want to distract people. So I was talking about Kimberly Guilfoyle. She is the girlfriend of Donnie Jr., right? The fiance or girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
So I'm not saying that in a pejorative way, that she's the literal love interest of Donnie Jr., the president's son. And all these people are now involved in the campaign and in the White House, in the business of democracy. I don't know how it happened, but it's a family business now. So she did a rally today for Chris Jacobs online. And the message of the rally was, we need to elect Chris Jacobs because we need someone who signs the front of the check and not the back of the check. In other words, regular people who collect a paycheck and work every day, they don't matter. Only the people wealthy enough to sign the front of the check, who own the business, not the other people who are also stakeholders in the business, matter. Now that's class warfare. Kimberly, I hope you're watching. Are you watching, Kimberly? I know those people who troll us from your team are watching. Tell Kimberly that people who work for a living in NY27, they matter whether they sign the front of the check or the back of the check. And you, in your collecting money from the Trump campaign world, may not understand that, but we do. The second thing she said is she's against big labor. Now, what is big labor? It means unions. She's attacking unions, saying unions are trying to buy this race. Look at Kimberly. I strongly support unions. I wish you did too. And any union member out there who thinks they're pro-union, go watch Kimberly. Go listen to Jacobs. They're anti-union. They appointed one of the most anti-union people to the Labor Relations Board. They're stacking the courts with anti-union judges. They're trying to destroy union rights in this country. They don't talk about big pharma. They don't talk about big insurance. They talk about big unions. I mean, it's shocking. As union percentages or membership has gone down in this country, so has working wages, so has living wages, so is the buying power of American families. And I will fight for unions, whether Kimberly Guilfoyle likes it or not. So it was a pretty disgusting thing to watch overall. And I wish the whole public could have saw what we saw today. All right, questions from people that are out there. Oh, Linda, I just saw Nate McMurray for Congress commercial. I'm in there, woohoo. Well, thanks for watching it. I'm glad you watched it. I want to say thank you to the Stonewall Democrats who just endorsed us. I know we mentioned it yesterday. It's official now. Stonewall Democrats, for those who do not know, major LGBTQ plus organization in Western New York. If you see the voting record of Chris Jacobs, he is very anti-LGBTQ plus. He didn't vote on gender. He consistently votes against LGBTQ plus rights. And I'm proud to have the endorsement of the Stonewall Dems. I'm proud to be pro-equality. And if you saw the Supreme Court case yesterday, I think it's a great thing for our country. Kyle Crawford, just saw your ad, Nate. It was great. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate your support. Jenny Thomas Salzman, not getting strong enough internet connection on your end, and I think your broadcast keeps stopping. I know. We're trying to fix it. I'm sorry about that, Jenny. Deborah, we've got nothing out here in Brant. Video not working. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We back up? We're back up. Alice Lane, hello. Good to see you. Linda Van Hess, thanks for watching the commercial. I appreciate it. Peter, hey from Sanborn. Peter, do you know my family used to own a farm? Well, my uncle did. My aunt and uncle used to own a farm in Sanborn. I used to be there all the time. It doesn't exist anymore. Sadly, the farm failed, and too many farms in NY27 are failing, but love Sanborn. Hi from Hamburg, Heather Lindquist, right here in Hamburg. Hey, Heather, how are you? Good to talk to you. Who else is out there? So you want to give people some updates? Union people to the Labor Relations Board. Hamburg. Jane, go Nate, go. So we want to do some fundraising tonight. We're at $2,037. We want to raise $500 tonight. Can we do that? Is that possible? Oh, someone, Q, David from Periscope. How are you going to protect our health care in Western New York? Well, let's talk about health care in Western New York for a second. Now, first and foremost, you guys know the Trump administration has brought a lawsuit to remove protections on pre-existing conditions. They can lie to you, but you people out there are smart. Go look it up. The case is in Texas. They're trying to sue to remove protections for pre-existing conditions because insurance companies hate it. So number one, I'll fight to protect pre-existing conditions. I've said over and over again, I believe every single American should have health care. Every other industrialized or developed country has done it. Why can't we do it? And I'll fight to find a way to get it done. And I promise you on that right now. Next questions. Billy Bob, I will donate $27 a night. Thank you, Billy Bob. Steve Allen Melker, yes, $500 is the goal, Steve. We want to get $500 tonight. I know it's tough, but $500 will help us out. Hey, Polly, how you doing? Polly told me today that Beth Parlato called her, and she kept her on the line for almost 20 minutes. Thank you, Polly, for doing that. Chuck Xavier, what are some of the times the New York Times asked? For those who do not know, hey, can we pause it for a second? Sorry. Tell me when it's paused. I'm sorry. We're back. Sorry about that. I need to check something real quick. Capace, how are you, Capace? You doing well out there? It's good to talk to you. What type of regulations would I impose on Wall Street? Well, one of the biggest things we need to fight for is to make sure that people are not both. I don't think members of Congress should have open interests in stock. I think that's what happened with Chris Collins, right? Because he had an open interest in a company that he owned. He was trading stock in his own company, selling to people on Capitol Hill. You had problems. I mean, he was lobbying for the FDA to approve drugs that his company was trying to sell to the American public. That didn't work, by the way. And so it creates a conflict of interest. We have to remove those types of conflicts of interest. We also have to make sure that there's more liquidity, or that banks are not taking unreasonable risks with our money. And I think also there should be some discussion about the types of. The problem with the stock market today in general is, and in hedge funds and in these very schemes they've used nowadays, is it's really not creating value. It's creating value in paper. So you have these extreme sources of wealth created overnight, but that creates risks and volatility. So I think we have to look at a lot of different things. I think one of the great leaders on this has been Elizabeth Warren, and she's helped ensure consumer protections. But I think one of the things I want to work on right away is to prevent the ownership and sale of stock among members of Congress. Their job is to serve the people, not to be making money. It shouldn't be a country club, and most of these guys are from country clubs. Another thing you saw recently is with COVID. They get insider information all the time. So they got this information that COVID was going to be a major problem for our country, and you saw these senators sold the stock and made millions and millions of dollars. So it's another problem. It's a serious problem that we need to look at and take seriously. Billy Bob, hey, thanks for the $27. Chuck Xavier, back signers are workers who sign the. Yes, you're right. I can't believe she would even say that. 100% agreed. Deborah Ritz, $100. Deborah, you don't got to do it by yourself. We'll get there. Hey, buddy. You coming back, Martha? Martha, you miss me? Come on. It's okay. It's okay, Martha. It's okay. It's okay. All right, what else? What are the New York Times asked? Someone wants to know. Did we lose the video again?
No, we're good.
Okay. What do the New York Times what do they want to know? They wanted to know, gee whiz, they asked me a lot of things. They asked me what it's like to run in this district. They asked me if I thought we had a chance to win. We had almost a 30-minute discussion. And then they took photographs of me too. And I'll tell you what, I was exhausted. It was a long day. We're working very, very long days. So if I don't look like a Ken doll in the pictures they took of me, I'm sorry. I mean, I was trying to look nice. I combed my hair for a second, but I was sweaty. It was hot, and I was campaigning all day. So I was a little bit worried about that, but I thought the interview went very, very well. We'll see what they write. You never know what they're going to write until they write it. Boy, that's a weird vid. Any other questions? William Fine. How you doing, William? I love what you're doing. I love all the work you're doing out there. I appreciate it. Jane, thanks. Harry Lipsitz, how are you, Harry? I'm proud to know you. You're an exceptional young man, and I was proud to meet you last year. I hope to see you again soon. I hope your theater gets back going, and I hope we can bring some of my crew here to see it. AJ, how are you? Haircut. Polly every day is telling me I need a haircut. Polly, I'll get a haircut when I have time to get a haircut. It's not right now. In 7 days, I'll get a haircut. Any other questions from the crew out there? We're up to $2,114. We got to get to $500. I hate to do it to you guys, but we're really trying to stay on the air. And we're also trying to pay for lawyers now. Now, you see I'm talking about the voting process. It's not because I want to poke holes in the voting process, but this is a precedent-setting election. If we don't get it right this time with this all mail-in ballot, it'll set standards for the future that I think will hurt future Democratic candidates. I got to fight to do it right, and we're doing that. And part of that is hiring legal attorneys to make sure our rights are protected. And so part of the money you're donating is going to help with that cause as well. Billy says I'm going to win. I hope so, Billy. I think I've proven that I'll fight for the district. I've done it as long as I could. Listen, they say when you do something you care about, you leave it all on the field, right? You exhaust yourself. You go the distance. I'm tired. There's a little bit of gas left in the tank, but we're going to get there. Jane Cass, never mind the hair. I'll cut it. Trust me. I'm sooner than Deb. How are you? Good to see Deb's back on the line here. I'm sorry about the interruptions with the stream. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time. Kape says she's great. Good. Oh, Polly, you pay your hospital bill, okay? Don't. Polly, you take care of yourself first and foremost, okay? 427 for the voter protection plan. Oh, yeah, we have to figure out a way to make our votes more secure in this country. And it doesn't mean anyone's doing anything wrong. It just means we have a system that's antiquated. And we have to, especially when we're trying new things like early voting or all mail-in votes, it is going to be messy until we figure out the best way to do it. But I support mail-in ballots 100%. And if you haven't, you still got time until midnight tonight, I guess. Get online. And where's Austin? He slipped away? Hunter, yeah. They can still do it tonight, right?
I believe so, yeah, until midnight.
Get online tonight until midnight. If you're in Erie County or the other counties that can do it digitally, you still have time to request an absentee ballot. Do it. Now, we got a new standard I want to share with you guys. Oh, wait, Chuck Xavier says, I'm up 2-1 in the Batavian poll. I wish the real polls were that close, much of a widespread. It's not. It's close. Now, we're doing well in the absentee ballot count, but it's neck and neck at the polling votes. I need you guys to vote. I really do. We can't blow this. We only got 7 days to go, and we're right where we need to be. Don't blow it. How do you not blow it? If you voted already, we're saying you plus 2. That's our new thing. You plus 2. So if you voted, go make sure 2 people in your life also voted. So maybe your best friend, maybe your mom. You plus 2. That's the way we win this, because we're outnumbered that much. So we got to make up the amount we're outnumbered. And you guys live in these communities. You know, you see the Trump flags. And there's no way we can beat that unless we do this you plus 2. So guys, if you voted, go get 2 people. Find them. Tell them you got to vote. Get them to the polls. Tell them where the voting location is. This is how we win. We can't outspend them. My name is Nate McMurray. My family were immigrants who came here and built the canal, and they were hardworking people. My family did not inherit billions of dollars. We cannot outspend these people. And you heard what Kimberly Guilfoyle said today. She said, if your name is on the front of the check, you're the person. If it's on the back of the check, you don't matter. We need you to vote. If you want a world where only guys like Chris Jacobs go to Congress, then just give up. But if you want to help us win, you plus 2. And let me send a message to y'all. This is a guy who's been entitled and privileged his entire life, right? Jacobs. He is somebody who inherited millions and millions of dollars. Every year, at the beginning of the year, his trust fund replenishes. He says he has nothing to do with Delaware North. Do you believe that? His grandfather founded the company. Where does his money come from? Has he created some great business? No. It's coming from from his grandfather's business, Delaware North. That's where he's inherited all that wealth from. So you have this guy who's inherited this great wealth, hasn't done much with it, been privileged his entire life, been treated like a prince, got on a stage with me, literally could not answer a question. Let's repeat that. He could not answer a question. He was shaking. And I know some of you say may be mad at me because I called him Shaky Chris. He's shaky. Do you really want a guy like that to represent us in Washington? A guy who shakes the first time he's confronted in his whole life? The first time he's punched in the eye, he runs away? No, you don't want a guy like that. Now, you know I say fight like hell, but I don't punch down. I punch up, and there's a big difference. If you punch down, you're a bully. If you punch up, you're the exact opposite. And sometimes I'm going up against bullies. And when you're fighting bullies, you got to fight hard, because they'll hit you and they'll take you down if you don't. So what I'm trying to do is a fight against these forces that have been hurting the people of this country, that have been hurting NY27, that have taken advantage of us, and I'm asking you to help me fight. I need your help. I'm fighting for people that are already bullied. I'm fighting for people that are already discriminated against in the society. I'm fighting for people who don't have a chance. So yeah, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight people like Chris Jacobs, because he didn't earn this. He didn't earn it. He hasn't even been to these towns. He thinks he can just change his party, suddenly say he loves Trump, have Trump tweet out, oh, I like this guy, and then he just automatically goes to Congress without ever talking about what he actually believes in or being held accountable. That's wrong. Everyone listening to me right now has earned every dollar they ever made. They work hard. I know you guys. You do not want a guy who thinks he is owed it. He doesn't own your vote. He doesn't own you. So get out there and vote. You plus 2. Okay. How are we doing on? Well, we're almost there. $100 more. That's all we got to do. $100 more. We'll get to 2. It's a metaphor and a physical fact. Change it. Aaron, listen, my friend. I'm inspired by the people of this district, and I'm not saying that as some pandering, sleazy politician. I'm saying it as someone who really cares about this place. And the only thing that keeps me going is you guys. And the fact that when I go out and we go to these towns with you with the rally signs, you saying we're going to win, we don't care what the odds are, we don't care how far we're down, we're going to fight for what we believe in, we're going to do what's right. Man, it keeps me going. And you guys do too, all the people in this room right here. I appreciate you. I know you guys had a long day today. And, hey, Hunter, I appreciate you. Thank you, too. We're almost there, almost to 500. Seems like you just like vast amounts of inherited wealth. Would you support a wealth tax? If so, what would it be? Well, I think the whole tax system is messed up. Let me give you a brief and a summary of the history of the tax system in America. There wasn't an income tax. There was no wealth tax or income tax. And we had something called the robber barons in 100 years ago. And the robber barons built huge homes in Manhattan. They built huge homes in Rhode Island, summer homes. You can still go visit the homes in Rhode Island. They're gorgeous. They're still there. But they're mostly museums today. They had massive wealth. Talk about the 1%. It was the same situation back then. And they started to control democracy. They started to influence everything. They started to control our country. So some people said we need a way to curb the control of this very powerful elite. So what did they do? They created an income tax. And the income tax was very high because it didn't tax existing wealth. It only taxed income, new wealth. And it was, as high as 90% at one point. So you had World War II happen, and after World War II, suddenly things started to change. They said, we need to turn around this income tax. Everybody should pay the same amount of income tax, no matter how much you make. Because it sounds good, right? It should all be even. It sounds like it makes sense, but it doesn't make any sense. Because if I tax your rate at 50% and you're making $500 a week versus I tax your rate at 50% and you're making $500 million a week, like some people actually, well, not that much, but some people make a lot of money, or $5 million a week, it's a huge difference in your lifestyle and your ability to survive. So they slowly started to decrease the income tax in the highest bracket. And also the inheritance tax. They started to decrease it more and more and more and more. And suddenly Ronald Reagan became president, and the idea of trickle-down economics started. And they said, let's cut it completely, almost all the way down as far as we can go. So they cut the highest tax rate. They cut the inheritance tax. And you can see what happened to this country. All the social programs that helped support this country, including Social Security, started to suffer. And if you ask yourself, well, how do we build the Peace Bridge? How do we build all this beautiful stuff in this country? Well, that's back when we had a so-called wealth tax, or a very high tax rate on the highest percentages. And as we lowered that tax rate, we shifted the burden over to working people. And we should not be paying for wars and for any the operation of this country on the backs of mothers and children. We should be doing it on the backs of the people who are most in a position to carry that burden, because that helps democracy and it helps our country. So anyway, Ronald Reagan became president. He decreased the tax rate of the top 1% because he said it's going to trickle down. Well, here we are 40 years later, and it hasn't trickled down. It's trickled out. Because what happens is capital will seek its rate of highest return. So it's trickled to places like India or China, because you can invest there and you can get more money back on your investment than you could in the United States. So instead of it trickling down, it's trickled out. And I keep saying, I want a bubble up economy. I believe cutting the tax rates on regular people so we can have them money in their hands so they can buy things, go to the store, go to restaurants, and have the money bubble up. And that's the type of economy I think we should have. And I'm not saying take all the wealth away from the wealthy people. I'm saying we have a more balanced society and we create a higher tax rate on the top 1% so that we can pay for roads and bridges and wars and health care and all the other things that every other country has. That's what I want to do. And they try to scare you. They try to say, oh, McMurray's going to try to increase your tax rate, or he's a socialist. I'm not a socialist. I'm someone who wants to save capitalism. And let me talk about this for a second. Capitalism is broken right now, and the only way we're going to fix it is if we give more people a chance. Now, I'm a corporate attorney. I hold for the boos and hisses. Okay, get it out of your system. Booming. There's some right there. I'm a corporate attorney. So I know what corporations do and what the most wealthy people do to create a market that serves their interests. Because they try to tell you, let the free market do its thing and everything will be safe. Well, there is no free market. The free market is created by laws. And I'll give you a couple examples of laws. Can you sell your kidney? Can I go out and say, hey, it's my right, the free market, I'm going to sell my kidney? No. Can you sell a lot of things? Let's not get into it. No, we have all kinds of rules, right? We have rules about how the market operates. And there are rules that are more beneficial to the most wealthy. And those rules are drafted by corporate attorneys and people who fight for corporations. Now, when I was a corporate attorney, when I was working in that role, I always try to be reasonable. But there's a lot of people who are not reasonable, who try to absolutely exploit their employees, exploit workers. So I'm for a capitalist system that gives you a chance. And if we don't at least try that, I'm afraid the whole thing's going to collapse. We have to, if you really care about capitalism, saving capitalism, you have to make sure we have a capitalist market that really works for all people. Now, maybe you're skeptical it's going to work at all because of where we are or what's happening to the environment. I have my worries too, but I'm willing to try to fix the situation. I think we can take steps to make the system work more for everybody. I know that was a long answer, but I wanted to go through all of it with you. We are still at $2,300. We're almost, we need another $100. Jay Fraser, how you doing? I always want to talk to you. How you doing, Jay Fraser? I see your positive comments all the time online. I appreciate it deeply. Daryl Cole, I didn't know that, like they need it. Well, Darcel, that's absolutely right. That's what happened. They've used 50 years of marketing to tell you everyone should pay the same amount. That's not what the income tax was set up to do. How do you think we fought World War II? How do you think we paid for the GI Bill? How do you think we built everything in Western New York, the Peace Bridge? How do you think they built City Hall, all these beautiful things? There was a 90% tax rate on the 1%. And we've gone away from that, and that's why everything's falling apart. I'm not saying we have to have a 90% rate, but we have to increase the tax rate for the 1% and decrease the tax rate on you. Everyone's back. How you doing, guys? Good to see you. Jane Cass, Gaslight. Amazing answer, brah. Sorry. I like that. Thank you, Brock Thomas. All right, we're almost there. $2,397. Can we get 20 bucks out of the people listening? If we can, I'll be happy. What do you think about the huge tax breaks the richest 43,000 families got in the CARES Act? It's disgusting, Alice. It's disgusting. You saw me ask Chris Jacobs about it. The CARES Act was supposed to help working families. It was full of tax breaks. $180-something billion for $180 million in tax breaks for real estate developers, a $500 billion slush fund. Listen, every time I see someone complaining about somebody on food stamps, I want to tell them, look at how much food stamps makes up of our overall budget. Look, it's nothing. It's a fraction of our overall budget. Even if there was rampant food stamp abuse, which I don't think there is, I think there may be some food stamp abuse, it's a fraction of our overall budget. Then here you got $500 billion, a slush fund created in the CARES Act, and nobody knows where the money went to. There's no accountability. $600 billion they're saying it is now. And no one's mad. I see nobody on WBEN complaining about it. Why? Don't be stupid. It's like a magic trick. They're like, look over here while we steal you, while we rob you over here. $500 billion, okay? $500 billion. It's wrong, and there should be accountability for it. There is no accountability for it. Oh, man. Am I reading this right, Torin? We're 50 bucks away? 50 bucks away. And I'm about to crash here, so good. I might fall straight for it. Marty's back there sleeping. Marty, come here. Come here, baby. Don't sleep. Show your beautiful face to the crowd. You want a Scooby snack? Here you go, baby. Here you go. Here you go. Marty is a pit bull, right? Marty is a pit bull, and she is a warrior. VoteMcMurray.com/early vote. VoteMcMurray.com/early vote. GOTV. I didn't know what it meant a couple years ago either. It means get out the vote. So there you go. That's looting, Brock. That's right. That's looting. Are all those trillions also mean we have money for M4A, infrastructure, college costs? Yeah, that's right. Why be upset at the food stamp recipients, not the multi-billionaires? Katie, 100%. Katie, by the way, I love your spirit. I see you online. You're a fighter. I'm guessing someday we're going to be voting for you, Katie, if you want to be involved in politics. You keep at it. All right. We're $3 away. Somebody out there can give me $3, or maybe you can't. If you got, what's that?
I pledge 50.
Oh, we got a pledge for $50 over here. Can somebody match that $50 pledge? Thank you. Michael Plitt's watching. Hey, Michael, good to see you. I just saw you a little while ago. Good to see you again online. Jane Maslow. Jane, love you. Love what you're doing. Food stamps keeps Tops and Wegmans in business. Well, I'm not sure if it does certainly help, that's for sure. Alice Lane says, LOL, I thought GOTV had something to do with television. You know, I did too, Alice, I'm not going to lie. I had to learn all this lingo. I'm still learning it. Hey, what do you guys think of Alice Gerard?
Oh my God, she's one
great.
of my favorite humans ever.
One of the best humors ever.
She knows that. No, you tell her I said it.
We tell you every day. Aw shucks. Katie, no, aw shucks to you. I love your post. I love your passion. And I love that you don't, what did I say? You stand true to what you believe. When you get into politics, sometimes it's hard because people want to pull you one way or the other. Me too. People are telling me, you can't say that, Nate. That's wrong for the district. And I say, no, I'm going to do what's right for the district. And I think you had that same spirit in you. Don't lose it. I've got $50. Andrew says, thanks for answering all the questions so far. Can I get a round of applause for Andrew? He matched the 50. He matched the 50. We met our goal. So I'm going to answer a few. Oh, wait. Oh, all right. Yes. Got to close with this. Hank Bush is a nice guy. Who is Hank Bush, guys?
Wyoming County Board of Elections.
He's a Wyoming County Board of Elections chair, Hank Bush.
Democratic warrior in rural America.
He's a Democratic warrior in rural America. He is. Well, he's just a wonderful human being. I had him on one of my horrible Skype interviews I used to do. But I love Hank. I love him. He's a wonderful human being.
You gonna sing?
Yeah, we'll sing. I mean, listen, I don't like singing Happy Birthday, but I think he deserves it.
But you've got, but Mary has such a beautiful voice. Oh, look at
Oh, Mary, can you lead us in happy birthday?
And we'll try.
Hank.
We'll try. One.
Wait. Oh, also, so the lights. So Mark Jones. Mark James. Sam, nephew's husband from our campaign. Sam, you're out there right now with him. Hope you're having fun. Hope it's a romantic evening. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're. Look at.
More romantic now?
What am I supposed to say? Sam, I hope you're home. I hope it's lovely. We love having you here, and we're sorry you're not with us tonight because you're home with your husband. Mark James. That's all right. Wait. This is for Mark James and Hank. Hank, I doubt you're watching this, but I love you. Ready? You lead us. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mary, go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Mark and Hank.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
How sweet it is.
Hundreds more.
Chris Freiberger, hey, before I hang up, we're up at almost $2,600, $600 tonight. Christopher Freiberger's there. I love you, Chris. Chris, let me tell a story about Chris. I grew up with Chris. Incredible. Oh my gosh, Chris, are you watching? I gotta tell somebody. Can someone give me a rally sign?
Yeah. This one. Oh, you got it. You got it.
Chris Freiberger designed my logo.
Aw.
I went to high school with Chris Freiberger, and when I first ran, I said, hey, I need a logo. And I said, I want something that's retro and bold, fun, something that doesn't look like anything else. And Chris came up with this, and I love it. Chris works for the water department in one of our fine towns. I'm not going to say which. I don't want to put him on the spot. But I love Chris. Chris, you're also a great artist. You are the best. And Chris designed this Vote McMurray logo, and I'm proud of it because every time I see it, I think about Chris and drawing pictures in Chris's house when I was a kid. And I don't know. Chris, you got to know, so many people rip this logo off. I've seen this logo on so many other campaigns, almost the same color scheme, the whole 9 yards. And I love the logo because you made it. And can I get a round of applause for Chris? Chris, I love you. Chris, you got to get back in the graphic design business. I mean, all the stuff you do is so cool. I mean, even if you did it part-time, it'd be great. I love what you did. And look at back here, I got to give a shout out to Oxford Pennant, who made this giant one for us. You see this big one behind us? Handmade, hand-stitched. Thank you, Oxford Pennant, for your hard work. All right, we're going to close it up because I'm going to fall asleep. Oh, Jane Cass, that is the best logo, way better than the other lame, unpatriotic signs. Thanks, brother. Love you, too. Hey, Bob Coldicott's on here. Yay, Chris. Yeah, Jane Cass, I love that logo because I don't know, it's just different. It was so different when he came up with it. You guys like it?
Yeah.
I've always loved this logo. It's kind of Captain America-like a little bit, like the waving flag, and I love the retro lettering. I love everything about it. You did a great job, and I love that one of my best friends growing up made it. Hey, Leah, how are you? Let's say hi, Leah in Springville.
Hey,
Leah.
Okay, we're gonna call it a day. We're at $2,574. Sorry, I have to keep asking for money, but it's helping us. It's going to help us win this election. Now, the message again, you plus 2. 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 Good night, everybody. Hey, Samantha, good night to you and Mark James.